Okay, we've got the intake manifold back on. Haven't connected up all the wiring and stuff yet. The knock sensors here, the accelerator cables and stuff like that, because we're going to do the intake manifold do the valve cover gaskets. It's pretty straightforward. Got a bunch of 10 millimeter screws here. This one down here is a little challenging to get to. You need a universal joint to get at that one. You got a cable coming here It's your cruise control cable guy. In this clip, looks like there's another clip right there because there's a bolt. There's basically one underneath that. There's one right there, and there's another one. So I'm gonna take off these bolts. I already took out the coils. I already took off the electronics, as I explained in the other video. You don't have to dink around with the clips that hold these on here. You should just be able to pull it straight off, and it comes off the fuel injectors. And you take off this bolt and this bolt. So we're going to now do the gaskets. Same thing on this side. I've already got the coils off. Take the knock sensor cables off. And there's nothing really else to look at over here. This side's a little bit more accessible. You can see 1, 2, 3 bolts right there. And we're going to take those all off, and then we'll turn the camera back on. Okay, we got the valve cover off. Comes off totally straightforward. Camshaft, timing chains. The outer gasket obviously was on there. You got to take off your inner gasket, which is right here. This comes off, and you put it into a can or whatever. You just have to wipe that all down. Don't scrub it. Wipe it down. Make sure the edges are all clean. This spot right here, and then also down here, it's a half moon shape. When you go to put the new gaskets in, they want you to add something like this, some gasket maker high temp. So you take a bead, and after it's all cleaned out, you fill this. Don't fill it, but you put a bead in there and a bead in there. Don't put any gasket material anywhere else, just on those two spots. And then you should be good. I've got the head outside, not the head, but got it out here. I'm just letting it soak with some degreaser. So it's just, I'm degreasing where the gaskets are going to fit in with some engine cleaner, and I'm going to spray it down, and then we'll be good to start putting that back together again. There's a shot of the rear of the 540i we're working on. And I got this all cleaned up, degreased down in there. You can see the half moons there, the other one down there. Just as an update, you're supposed to put red ATF in there. They also want you to put a little blob right here where this uneven transition happens. And there's another spot down there. You're supposed to just put a little bit there and a little bit there. Put your gasket on, button it all back up, and then yeah, don't drive it for a day till the gasket sealer hardens up. Alright, so the cylinder head, valve cover gasket cover is right here. I cleaned it all out, used some compressed air, blew out all the goo after I degreased everything. I cleaned out all the screws, the rubber grommets, and the metal washers. So then you just take your gaskets and you drop them in. Get the other gasket here. And they're going to go in like this. So you put that all in. Don't forget to put your extra goo on here. But I think what we're going to do, instead of putting it on there, is we're going to go ahead and put it on the engine here. There in the moons. Little smear right there on that rough edge, and then one down there. Putting it on the engine because when I'm moving it over here, I don't want to be knocking goo around, and because you do have to kind of wiggle it around a little bit to get it down past this worm drive clamp here. So getting ready to put this on, and then we're going to torque it down to 10 Nm. All right, we're getting ready to put the valve cover gasket on the passenger side. I've got everything cleaned up, cleaned the oil out from down there where the spark plugs are. The only thing I would say that I would do differently next time is these wires that come right here that go down. I don't know where they go to. They're pretty heavy duty wires. I don't know if you can see them right here. They prevent you from lifting this electronic box very far out of the way. So when I go to put the valve cover gasket back on, you kind of have to finagle it in there. Don't forget to put the the red silicone gasket maker on that half moon down there, this little uneven spot right here, and then the same one down there. And then put them on, torque it down. That's what we're going to do now. Okay, so we got this valve cover gasket on here. All the bolts are tightened down. You can't see that. All the bolts are tightened down to 10 Newton meters, is it 10 Nm? What I wanted to do also was check, I put all new spark plugs in. So I got a torque wrench, and the spark plug is, hold on, let me redo that. The torque on the spark plugs is 20 to 26 Newton meters or 15 to 19 foot-pounds of torque. So I'm just tightening them all down with a handy-dandy torque wrench before I start to put all the coils back in. All right, putting in the new coils. Got all brand new Bosch coils. They're pretty easy. You just basically drop them in. Just take it, put it over the spark plug. Might not be easy to do with one hand. Then you connect up this wire connector here, pull this out. I don't know if I can do this with one hand. Now you get the idea. Put them all in. Don't forget your grounding strap right here. It will look like that, and then you just put the bolts on, tighten them all down. We're going to do both sides.